Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the In Wheel Time Car Show. Just ahead, we check in with the man who advises Nancy Pelosi which cars to buy. Our friend Jack Nerad.
Poor Jack.
We Need More Jeff will tout his pre-owned car of the week, the Mazda3 Hatch, and we'll also have the stories making automotive news headlines this week. It's just ahead on today's In Wheel Time Car Show. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong, and We Need More Jeff Dziekan. I'm Don Armstrong. Joining us now, live via Zoom out in California, the left coast, is Mr. Jack Nerad. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, the advisor to Nancy Pelosi.
Thank you. How did you know I knew Nancy? We're tight. We're like that.
I kind of figured as much, just because of the proximity to where you are and where she is.
Which finger did he use when he did that?
Oh. Yeah, I used a couple, but one of them was more apropos than the other, maybe.
Oh, my goodness. Jack, it's great to see you, my friend. How are you?
Good to see you guys.
Well,
what a pleasure.
Well, as always. So, we had an event come through Houston. This was a couple of months ago, and our dear friend Steve Parrott, who I'm sure that you know with Nissan, was down here with a bunch of vehicles, new vehicles for Nissan. And, Nissan in the past few years has been really quiet.
Very.
And of course, Carlos Ghosn, and that whole story, that's another subject for another day. But
we'll pack that one away.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, in a suitcase.
Let's save it.
But they've been kind of quiet, and they've really been losing their butt because they really haven't had any new products. But I went to see several all-new vehicles for Nissan in this little tour that he was giving. He brought it to Houston, and I guess we had about a half a dozen vehicles, one of which was the new Z car, also the new Pathfinder, the Lyric. There were several new cars there, and I was thoroughly impressed. And I know, Jack, that you had a chance to check out the new Nissan Pathfinder, and boy, what a difference a day makes, huh?
Absolutely. It's such a great vehicle. And, the Pathfinder has a great history. It dates way, way back into the 80s. I date way back earlier than that, but I remember when it was introduced, and it immediately made a name for itself as an off-roader, and I think they're trying to move it back in that direction, at least give you the impression and give everybody the impression that you can go off-road in this thing, and we certainly did that up in Montana when they introduced it. I mean, it was darn cold up there. It was kind of crazy cold, and we were camping.
Wow.
So we really had an interesting time with the new Pathfinder. And, geez, it's such a good-looking vehicle, and it's so versatile. I think it's going to score very, very strongly in the marketplace.
Well, that's one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about. It was rather striking because I had to look at the back of the vehicle to find out what it was. It doesn't look anything at all like the latest product that they had that is now replaced.
No, and it's very intentional. I think some of the styling, you know how stylists are. They say, oh, this was inspired by that. If you remember, the original Pathfinder in two-door form had a really interesting C-pillar.
Yes, it did.
Kind of this angular thing, and so they have a little echoed that in the styling. It's not nearly as clear-cut, and of course, this is a four-door. Two-door SUVs have gone the way of the Albatross, I think, but it's kind of interesting what they've done with the styling, and I think they've done a very good job. And I think inside it's even better than ever before.
Well, Nissan has been a stalwart in off-roading for quite some time, and they did bring the new truck out. We got the chance to see it, and it has a lot of similarities to the Toyota Tacoma, and I think that you'll agree.
Yeah, exactly. And it kind of makes sense that you would emulate the vehicle that is the go-to in that particular segment. And you're right, they have a great off-road heritage, but I would say over the last 10 or 15 years, you really wouldn't know it from the products they've put out there, from the way they've advertised them. So I think they want to get back to their roots with that, and I think the Pathfinder is going to be a strong entry. It's certainly a vehicle. If I were looking for a mid-size SUV, Absolutely, I would take a look at the new 22 Nissan Pathfinder.
Now, what do you think about the interior? Their interiors have come such a long way. I mean, they really are cutting edge, but they haven't lost the fact that it's still a vehicle that everybody needs to be able to get in and be able to do things like work the infotainment system. Like some manufacturers have just gone off the board, and it's dumb, really. But Nissan,
how complex they are,
Nissan seems to has held true to the user friendliness of their vehicles.
Yeah, I mean, they've got the magic formula of it being useful and easy to use when you're in motion, right? It's not that you're going to be sitting there still and you can spend a lot of time looking at an infotainment screen and pick things out. So I think based on that, they really score. Maybe in terms of overall looks of the thing as an art piece, there are others that are maybe more interesting, but you don't want it to be interesting. You just want it to be useful
functional
when you're
right.
driving. And I think they've come up with that magic formula.
Well, I in particular have been really impressed, and I'm seeing more and more press about their new all-electric.
Yeah, absolutely. I think and they want you to think about them as an electric vehicle company, or at least have an entry there. And, we've seen a lot of entries. We've seen a lot of new product there. Hyundai has put something out there over the course of the last week or so as well. So there's a lot of companies that want you to start thinking about them in a whole different light, and Nissan certainly is one of them.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of pictures here recently about the new Z. I guess they're getting ready to officially introduce that.
Yeah, they're kind of teasing it a little bit in their brand commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course that's, again, getting back to their heritage, just as they're getting back to their heritage with Pathfinder. A brand that has been slipping a bit, and I think they would freely admit that they've been slipping a bit. They've had a lot going on that wasn't directly related to selling vehicles in the United States over the last couple of years, so you can understand that. But now they want to get back to their roots, put things out there like the Z car, like a Pathfinder that is very true to what Pathfinders have been through the years. And I think that's going to serve them really well, because there's a lot of built-in support for Nissan, going back to the Datsun days. They just haven't capitalized on that so well over the course of the last, say, 3-5 years.
Well, I mean, and certainly in the past year or two, I mean, the whole news about Nissan has been about Carlos Ghosn's escape from Japan in a guitar case.
Right, and it's good radio, right? I mean, it's a good podcast subject to talk about. It's almost like a movie script, except you wouldn't believe it.
Right.
Somebody who is a CEO of a major car company escaping from the law in a suitcase and
being helped
going
by,
into exile, essentially. It's kind of crazy.
Being helped by two American Navy SEALs, were they?
One was the father-son team. I don't recall exactly.
Yeah, one of them was a SEAL, though. Either way.
Yeah.
And now they're being prosecuted. They're being extradited to Japan, and they're going to be prosecuted.
I want to know where the movie is. Are you writing the script for the movie and not just telling us?
Yeah, I'm keeping it in the dark. I'm on the left coast here. I am
there you go.
In Hollywood, essentially. So of course I've got a movie deal cooking, but I can't tell you right now.
He's closer to Japan than we are.
That's right.
And the three stars would be Larry, Daryl, and Daryl.
There you go.
Yeah.
Who is Larry, Daryl, and Daryl?
It's an old TV show.
It's an old
Larry
TV
and Daryl were brothers, and their other brother Daryl.
Their other brother Daryl.
Oh
too.
God, I don't
Bob
even want
Newhart show.
to know.
Go back to sleep.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, that one I missed. So, Jack, what else have you been doing since the last time we talked to you?
The most recent thing I was doing, and I really am not supposed to talk about it because you guys are you guys, I will a little bit.
Okay.
You just referred to it. I saw the Maverick yesterday.
Oh, you did?
Oh, okay.
I was in the Maverick. I was taking pictures of the Maverick. I interviewed the Ford marketing manager in charge of the Maverick. So it's an interesting vehicle, and it is very truck-like, which you wouldn't necessarily guess, right? You might think it's some kind of odd cross. Remember that old Explorer that had a truck bed about
the Explorer Sport?
Bed?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's nothing like that, which is a good thing, right? I mean, it's not this weird cross between this and that.
Sport
It
track,
looks like
yeah.
a pickup truck.
Oh,
I
well,
mean,
good.
it's interesting that it's on a front drive platform, but it can be all-wheel drive as well.
And it's
So-
4-door, 2-door.
Well, I shouldn't be saying.
Okay.
Okay.
But
We
I
don't
can
wanna
hold
put
up
you in a
fing-
bind.
I can hold up fingers,
There you go. Yeah. Well, we
and
assume.
it carries that many people.
Got you.
Oh.
So
Well,
yeah.
you
Well,
didn't say anything. Thank you.
right. And not only that, but we wouldn't imagine that it would be anything other than that because let's face it. I mean, how many old style pickup trucks do they sell these days? Really, not that many.
Only in the work platform.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and even that's not that many because the cost difference isn't that much.
And
Well, and the startling thing is what the base price of this thing is going to be.
yeah. So I read
How many
that.
fingers you got, Jack?
Yeah, I don't have that
taking
many.
his
but
shoes off.
It's a really low price.
Well, as a matter of
And,
fact, I read the story
there's
here.
interesting things about the drivetrain too.
Yeah,
that,
I read the story that it's going to be starting at under $20,000.
Wow.
They're going to sell every single one they can possibly make.
If they get chips.
Yeah. Did they bring the Maverick out there to you, or did you have to go somewhere?
Well, I went to a Ford facility in Orange County, which is the next
Oh.
county over for
Yep.
me. So
Sure.
yeah, got a chance to see it.
What are you
Well-
driving now?
I am driving a Honda Ridgeline this week, and when my portion of the show is over, three of us are going to hop in there and drive up about 200 miles to visit my daughter at her college. So I'll get a good test of the Honda Ridgeline.
What school did she go to?
Call ahead.
Yeah, exactly. She's going to be there. She knows that we're on the way, but she's going to be there anyway.
What college, Jack?
She goes to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo.
Oh, beautiful, right there in Morro Bay. Gorgeous,
Very pretty.
gorgeous
So, yeah,
place to go to school.
Well, Jack, you done good, sir. I mean, you got the
Always
daughter
cool.
up at a beautiful campus and great school. So congratulations.
Up there.
Yeah, well, and two of my daughters are Texas daughters, as you guys know. One just graduated from TCU, so I have that connection too. So
And you know
we'll be
Nancy
coming to visit
Pelosi.
one of these days.
Yeah, and Nancy Pelosi, or know of Nancy Pelosi. That's
Yes,
what it is.
both of those things. Yeah,
All of those
we're
things.
tight. Me
So-
and Nancy.
so what do
we
you-
share masks?
There you go. So what?
Oh gosh. I won't go there.
Do you happen to have a freezer full of ice cream?
Of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's one thing that Nancy and I actually really do share. A love of ice cream. I love premium ice cream, and that's
How are your cubbies doing this year?
great until we got to San Francisco. I don't know whether Nancy has anything to do with that because
Uh-oh.
she used to be mayor of San Francisco.
Of course she
But
did.
they've lost the last two, but they're doing okay. Hanging in there.
So what? So you currently have this car. So what is on your agenda? What are you looking forward to?
In terms of the vehicles. coming
Yeah,
out.
let's
off
go.
the
Let's
show.
go back to
Yeah, we're talking about vehicles again.
Getting off the show.
Ford Bronco is coming up. I'm going to be driving Ford Bronco, I think, in 2 weeks' time, something like that. I am going up to drive the Grand Cherokee L, the Jeep Grand Cherokee L, on Monday, headed to Detroit, and then headed back from Detroit a little later in the week. So I've got a pretty full slate of stuff to do in June, and very interesting vehicles.
I have to confess to you, Jack, that the Bronco, not the Bronco Sport that's out now, but the Bronco, I think that they have really missed the boat on the whole publicity thing with it because, all of the excitement that we had, 9 months ago, a year ago, the Bronco's coming back. Well, where is it? It's still not here, and they've got this Bronco Sport thing, and it's not a detriment to the brand or the vehicle itself, but to be honest with you, I saw one in person in a parking lot, and I wasn't impressed. I'm looking for the Bronco. And I think that they should have kind of said, you know what, we've got a special vehicle coming, and we're not going to tell you what it is. And then when they're ready to put it in the showroom, then bring it out.
It didn't give you the wow.
Well,
factor.
and I think in retrospect, they would have preferred or would have been better advised, right, to launch with the Bronco the thing that everybody's the thing that basically competes with the Jeep Wrangler,
Right.
and is the thing that everybody's anticipating. Not its little brother, and then introduce the little brother later, right? As a sub-brand of that. And I imagine the people at Ford understood that. Sometimes production changes things. And, of course, if they had met the original production plan, Bronco Sport would have been out there, and then Bronco would have followed very, very closely after that. Not this 9, 10 months, 12 months that we're seeing
I think some
now.
of that was driven by COVID as well.
Perhaps, but I mean, it just seemed like a missed opportunity to sell a bajillion more of them when the talk, the hype, all of the publicity was going on when they first announced that they were going to build it. And then they did a commercial with one in it. It's like, okay, well, here it is, the Bronco and the Bronco Sport, and then nothing. And here we're still waiting. And you're finally getting a chance to drive one, which obviously is a pre-production vehicle. When is it supposed to hit the showroom? Do you know?
Well, I think the latest thinking is it's going to hit around September or so.
Okay.
And typically I'm driving vehicles, 4 to 6 weeks before they're in the marketplace. So if I'm driving in late June, say, that would indicate maybe mid-August or something like that.
Yeah.
Would be a
There you go.
logical time to think
August
that would
1st
show
to
up.
September.
Well, I wonder how this chip thing is going to affect it.
Well, I think that's part of their problem. I think that's one of the reasons it's been delayed.
Are you hearing
starting to
anything about the chip shortage lightening up? I mean, like, are we finding some chips under the couch or something?
I think if anything, it's getting worse. It's kind of a nice problem that the car industry is going great guns. So there's a great deal of desire for inventory out there. They want to build a lot of vehicles, and I think people anticipating the chip shortage are going. If I'm going to buy something, I should buy now as opposed to buying in a month or two, or even looking to 2022's coming in great numbers around Labor Day or so.
Well, wouldn't you suggest that, though, Jack? I mean, if you really want to buy a car, buy it now, because the price ain't going to go down.
Right. I've had friends of ours who were trying to buy a car and almost were stymied in their ability to find anything they wanted, and kind of had to go to maybe their third or fourth choice. Just kind of up against it because inventory of the vehicles they wanted just wasn't around.
Yeah.
You had mentioned you're going to, in the short future, drive the Grand Cherokee, or going up to look at the Grand Cherokee L.
Yes.
We were lucky enough that Jeep brought that to the Houston Auto Show a couple of weeks ago. So I'm going to say kind of the world debut of that truck to the public was at the Houston Auto Show. What an amazing looking truck, and adding the third row and stuff. I think they're going to be very much a suburban fighter.
And there were people all over that vehicle. Yeah. It's really conservatively impressive. I guess that's the best way that I can put it.
The same thing with the Wrangler E was right behind us.
Right. So at any rate, we were impressed here.
Yeah, and you should be. I share that. I think it's a really good-looking vehicle. I really anticipate driving it. I think they're going to score big because 3 rows in vehicles that size, that's where the market is. That's a big part of the market.
And
so
there's not a lot of
3-row offering is going to be great for Jeep.
And there's not a lot of competition for Suburban Yukon and Expedition L. There's those 3 kind of live by themselves, with Suburban and Yukon XLs being the big player.
Yeah.
Jack,
I'm sure it'll play well.
Where can our followers, our listeners, our viewers catch you?
Track me down.
Track you down.
A couple of places.
Besides Nancy's house.
Yeah, Nancy's house, getting her ice cream. I have a podcast called America on the Road, and it's on all the podcast platforms. So, tune into that when you want. And, of course, drivingtoday.com is a place where I do a lot of writing. I'm the editor there at drivingtoday.com. I also write stuff for jdpower.com, autobytel.com, and lately I've been writing some stuff for TrueCar.com, too. So you're going to see my byline everywhere. If you Google Jack Nerad, you'll be shocked at what you find.
That has several connotations, but I know you. And I'm thinking I'm just going to go with the America on the Road or drivingtoday.com. We'll just keep it all above board.
Yes. Yes, thank you.
We love you, Jack Nerad, and we thank you so much for joining us today.
It's always a pleasure talking to you guys. It's so much fun, and I look forward to doing it again real soon. So you guys take care and,
and
have some fun driving.
Yeah, and we'll be looking for more interesting car reviews from the Jack Nerad camp. So take care of yourself.
Okay.
Thanks, sir.
All right. Jack Nerad. I love Jack.
Very cool.
He's a
Funny
lot of fun.
guy.
He's a lot of fun.
Okay, time now for the racing calendar. Racing's in full swing around America.
Yep, and NHRA is next weekend at the New England Nationals, and then they go to Norwalk on the 27th, and then the Mile High Nationals on July 18th at Bandimere Speedway, which is always a challenging track to run because of the altitude. NASCAR this weekend is in Sonoma at the road course. They brought 7 road courses this year to NASCAR. Typically in the past there was only 3, Sonoma and Watkins Glen. So this
It used to be Riverside. I loved Riverside.
Riverside was down in L.A.
Yeah.
Sonoma's up in Sonoma.
But I loved Riverside.
Yep, challenging course. And then on the 13th of June, they're going to be at Texas Motor Speedway up in Fort Worth. And then on the 20th, they're going to be at Nashville Super Speedway, which is the first time the Cup has been at Nashville in quite some time.
Let me just say this about the COTA race. What an absolute nightmare that turned out to be.
Well, had it been dry, it would have been good.
Great. But oh, my God. And they didn't stop the race. They let them rain, and it just kept raining.
And run into each other.
Run into each other. Couldn't see.
Yeah, I'm putting up a spray, so I'm going to drive right into the spray, not thinking there's somebody there.
Well, but that's just the way they run on ovals. I mean, because the banking and stuff, theoretically, all the trash falls down, and you just keep going. Well, COTA's flat.
Well, but
there's no drain. There's no runoff.
Typically,
minimal.
they never run in the rain, so I think it was new to all of those guys to put wet tires on and get behind the wheel.
Hold my beer. Watch this.
Dude, that is just no. What were they trying to prove by doing that? That they could
get the race in. And then tomorrow is going to be Azerbaijan for Formula One. The French Grand Prix is on the 20th, and the Austrian Grand Prix at the Red Bull Ring is going to be on the 27th. IMSA is going to be next weekend with the prototypes and the Corvettes and GTLMs in Detroit Belle Isle. And then Road America on the 20th. The Lamborghini Super Trofeo is in Virginia International Raceway this weekend with our friend Alec Udell driving.
Cool.
And he got himself a fine ride.
Mike?
And
your hand there.
oh, okay.
I didn't know where he was going with that.
Yeah, well, we've been trying to get your attention for the past 10 minutes,
Well,
but you're in your own world down there.
Yeah, I'm looking at the next guest.
I guess what I need to do is I need to get me a little spitball.
And in race 2 at COTA, Alec finished second in that Lamborghini running.
There you go. It's got
So
thrown out.
even in the rain.
A little rubber band with some paper clips.
So that's the racing calendar coming up, and I don't know if they are going to get a chance to reschedule Gina's race or not. Have you talked to her about that?
I have not. It was raining there yesterday. I don't even know anymore, and I'm sure that she's as frustrated as the rest of us are. We're done with the rain for the time being. All right, time now for the pre-owned car of the week. We've been trying to get to this for 3 weeks, and Jeffrey has been very patient. The Mazda3 Hatch.
Oh,
Jeffrey,
my goodness, here we go.
What year was it? Here we go.
2019. 2019 Mazda3 Hatchback.
Here we go.
Here we go. The trim levels, and I'm going to take my time with this since it's 3 weeks, so it's probably about an hour. I'm due.
Don won't let you go that long.
No.
Standard premium and premium all-wheel drive. It is a compact hatch, or what they like to call subcompact crossover, which is a very cool little car you see there. Seats 5, 2 adults, 3 small kids. I wouldn't go that far. Maybe 2 adults, 2 kids, maybe a dog, fish bowl, maybe a ferret, something like that. So exterior, front end was reinvented to match the rest of the Mazda line. It's got a controversial rounded rear end, which is called a Kodo design. Full LED lamps, taillights, radar adaptive cruise control system. It has a long sculptured hood to accommodate the exhaust and the larger engine.
Slick looking.
It is.
Hot hatch.
It is. And plus, it's a cool color, and that just accents it as well. It's got a raked rear hatch, which reduces the cargo space. It's 8 inches shorter than the sedan, which
Nobody's
makes sense.
moving plywood in this thing.
I mean, where are you going to buy plywood now, anyways? It's got a decent front cockpit area, 2 adjustable lumbars for the driver. There you go.
That was a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, manual. It's got a manual tilt wheel. It's got a scoping steering wheel. Passenger seats. It lacks the range, but the driver's seat is okay. It's got a good fit and finish on the actual dashboard and the interior design. Cargo area is larger than the sedan. Still tight for the cargo large products that you put in the back. I couldn't put a drum kit in this by no means. Rear seating is tight, like we said. A couple of kids at best.
So that is
yeah,
close.
it's very, very tight. It's got a unique design so far as the system upgrades on the stereo systems. Now, getting under the hood and the power side of it, you got a 2.0-liter direct injection, 60 miles an hour in 7.2 seconds, 15.6 in the quarter mile, which is just typical for that size. 186 horsepower at 6,000 RPM and 186 foot-pounds of torque at 4,000. You can get a 6-speed auto or a 6-speed manual. It's got the Sky Active engine for the mileage, but that's coming soon on the Sky Active X is what they're calling it. 25 miles gallon in the city, 35 on the highway, 30 combined. It no longer has an independent rear suspension. All-wheel drive is available, and it's basically a spirited handling little car. $21,000 to $30,000, depending on, of course, mileage, the condition of the vehicle, and what you saw there was a 2019. The vehicle had 7 recalls in that year.
Oh, my.
And it was electrical systems, engine, forward collision avoidance system had a problem, seat belts and seats had issues, powertrain, visibility, and wheels had the problem.
Just a little bit of everything.
Just a little bit of everything.
My next door neighbor bought one for his high school daughter. I love it. It's
it's a
just
neat little car.
Just a good-looking
That's
car.
what it would be for.
It's a well-styled car for a young high school.
Yep.
Yep.
Spirited driver.
Yeah.
The end.
All right. Well, thank you, sir.
Yep.
That is it for this segment of the In Wheel Time Car Show. We're going to continue on right after this quick break. Whether you own a newer car or want to keep your older one humming along for a while longer, think of Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bayway Chevy, and Bayway Lincoln to keep things in tip-top shape. From oil changes to major repairs, you can depend on the highly skilled service pros at Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bayway Chevrolet, and Bayway Lincoln to perform fast, efficient service to keep your investment running strong. For all your service needs, remember Bayway. Schedule your next appointment online anytime. Bayway, keeping it original. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier cruise-in, and you're invited to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, June 19th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free, and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupe founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, June 19th, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday morning, June 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy. Inside the Loop, visit Tailpipes and Tacos on the Southwest Freeway at Shepherd, weather permitting. You see all the new ceramic car wash cleaners on TV now, but John Gray at Gulf Coast Auto Shield has been using ceramic coatings on Houston's most expensive cars for years, and he'll tell you that nothing beats the real thing. Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs a coating over your paint that actually comes with a warranty. If you just picked up your Lambo, your Aston Martin, Porsche, Ferrari, any other exotic car, chances are your car will have company that have already found Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Now, you don't have to own an exotic. Maybe you got a truck, an SUV, or even an older vehicle that needs a little love. Well, let John Gray give it a look and give you an estimate on refurbishing that paint and making your vehicle look new again. How about getting a gift certificate for the wife's birthday or anniversary from Gulf Coast Auto Shield and tell her, honey, I know you love your car, so why don't we get it looking new again? It'll be the best gift ever, one that she'll never forget. Get hold of John Gray at gcautoshield.com or give him a call, 832-264-0670. Gulf Coast Auto Shield.